Well, hello there, folks. This is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Well, we got a beautiful 60-degree day. It was 32 this morning. It's warmed up. The sun's out. No clouds. I'm getting my smoker going here. The bees should be flying. And what I have to do today is rotate brood boxes. I don't have to, but I do. It's my way of preparing for splits. Let me explain why. So here's what we got, folks. Got a lot of bees moving today. So what I'm going to do, I do this at the end of January. I do it 6 to 8 weeks prior to my splits. You don't have to do this, but bees are always inclined to move upward. So right now, after a winter and dealing with a little bit of cold we've had, they've moved up into their food stores up here. This box is normally empty this time of year, just comb. All the eggs and brood they're starting to lay, is up here. So we hope the brood nest is right here. If that's the case, I want to take this box and move it down here, this box and move up top. The inclination of the queen is to move up. And what it does, by March when I do my splits, I have 2 full boxes of brood. It makes the split so much easier. It basically equalizes the hive. So that's the goal in what I'm going to do today. I'm going to reverse brood boxes. Now, if this is full of honey and the brood is still down here, I'll leave it alone. But normally, the heavier the box has the most honey and the most brood. So normally we want the heaviest on the bottom. But if it's all honey again, we'll leave it. And if they're down here, they're doing fine. They still have to move up. And they will by March. That's the whole goal, is to have 2 full boxes to split. If the brood nest is between them, ooh, right in my eye. If the brood nest between them, then I don't want to split them then. I just want to leave them alone, because I don't want to split the brood nest, because if we have another 30-degree day tomorrow, they need to remain in their cluster. So I don't want to split the cluster. So they're either here or here. If they're here, we leave them. If they're here, we move them to the bottom. We get equalized hives. That's the whole goal of what I'm doing. I'm not doing major inspections. If I see some very, very old comb, I might pull it, put some fresh drawn out comb in there. But that's just going to depend on what I see. I'm not going to do major inspections. I'm going to clean these things. I'm going to reverse them. I'm going to put them back together, and I'm going to call it a day. All right. So come on along. Let's do some box reversals. All right, as always, smoke both entrances. They've got 2 entrances on this one. Smoke in here. There we go. That looks to be the cluster. Well, actually, I take that back. They're right around in here. Get out of the way, bee. There we go. Get these beetles mashed down. They're holding them. So we're going to get this box broke loose from the bottom. We got this handy dandy tool. The Mr. Ed tool, even though he didn't design it. Looks like this box. And what that tool is used for is, these boxes have been together so long, the frames will sometimes be stuck together with burr comb. You put that in there, and if you've got any stuck together, you reach in and you can pop them loose. Because it's tough to get them apart. But this isn't stuck, it's clear. So, we'll put the old lid down. Take this out, this is good. That's good and heavy. That's full of honey and bees. But, let's look here. Looks like we got brood nest through and through. Let's take a look. So we are going to do a little bit of inspection. I'm going to take this old burr comb off. Oh, it's been there a while. Come on, get out the way, old bees. Shake them off. So this is stuck together good with propolis. Let's get one of these outside frames. I can feel this box. Yeah, it's light as a feather. There's nothing in here. Light as a feather. I'm going to take this out for the benefit of the video, because normally I just go ahead and reverse it right now. But all these bees are just the bottom of the brood nest. They're coming up through here. So I'm going to move them out of the way. Get this frame out of here real quick. Show you what I'm talking about. This was no cutout, so there might very well be some cutout comb in here. Oh, it's stuck, see? Completely empty. A little bit of honey in the corner, but completely empty. This whole box will probably look like that. Let's take a look. See, and they don't like me. Yeah, see, it's all completely empty. And that's what you'll find. So, 99% sure, and they're eating out the rest of the honey. See? They're cleaning out with a little bit of honey. They're packing a little bit of pollen. I'd say 99% sure the queen is in the top, because there's nothing down here. She's not laying down here. They're not ready to explode just yet. So again, I'm not going to inspect it. I'm going to put it back together. And yeah, this is some old comb, and I probably need to change it out. But I don't have the comb to do it this year. So we take that out. Stick that on its side. It's a good opportunity to check the bottom board. Probably clean it. As you can see, it's kind of dirty. Take the introducer out. Good opportunity. I was getting ready to dump the bottom board, and I dumped you guys instead. Take this. Just kind of clean this mess out. Just a little bit cleaning. They know what they're doing, but good opportunity to clean the hive up. Take the heavy box. Now this is one of mine that I didn't carve handles in, so it's hard to pick up. But I got handles on the front. Man, that's heavy. So what we'll do, stick that in there. Take this empty one. It's got a little weight to it. There's something in the corner here. I like to get in and out. Sometimes when you start scraping and cleaning, it just gets the bees fired up. So I want to put this introducer back in. Now I'm going to show you something on the front of this thing. It's going to be neat. That's it. That's a typical reversal. Drawn out a little bit. I do want to show you something. Here's what it is. So, there, bees reorient to their entrances. This box here is cracked down here. Remember, it was up here. So right here, there was a hole. There was an entrance. These bees are looking for that entrance. It's now down here. So now they only have one plus that one. So they're all looking around. They'll reorient. They'll figure it out. They'll all go down the box, but that's something really cool with bees is when they, once they are oriented to something, that's where they go back to. So, this one's, oh, I'm not even videoing. This one's got an inner cover. I hear them, but I don't think they're at the top. Oh, we're gonna have to look at this one. Okay, it's pretty heavy at the top. Maybe they're in the bottom. Nope. So this is a tiny, tiny hive. So rather than even reverse this one, here's what we're gonna do. This is completely light. It's completely empty. That hive has dwindled for some reason. Maybe they were sick. Looks like we're going to do some inspections after all. Yep, there. we're going to do, no bees in there. This is the box I moved back from Livingston in my moving hives video. So while it was heavy, it was only heavy on top. And I smell fermentation in there, so that means I probably got some beetle action going on. I don't see any larvae, beetle larvae. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean this bottom board off. Now I did check that they had a queen after they got landed on by the tree, and they did have a laying queen. But who knows? So what's going to happen with these bees is they're going to get reduced to one box. They're right here, very small cluster. These could actually go in a 5-frame box, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to disrupt them. So I got a little bit of honey. She's putting brood in, so they're trying to grow. See the brood. They got nectar. There's pollen, there's brood. And a small hive. So I want to reduce them down where they don't have as much real estate to guard. You can use that drawn comb on other hives. You want to be careful at this point not to. They had a queen. Like I said, they weren't queenless. As you can see, they got brood, so. And I haven't looked in there to see if she's backfilling that brood, but we're going to see if we see her first. This is one of those hives I want to put an eye on the queen if I can. They're making bees, they just don't have a lot. This was a massive hive when that tree fell on it. It makes you wonder what happened, because now we're at the end of the brood nest already. Wow. And while they're heavy, I don't see a lot of food. So we're already back at the pollen. Maybe y'all saw her on another frame and I didn't. So what I'll do now is check their eggs. So we moved this a week ago, so we know if we see eggs. Yeah, I see eggs. So we know she's here. And they're calm. If she wasn't here, it wouldn't be quite this calm. It'd be a roar to the hive. She could be anywhere. I didn't look on this side too good, so keep my eye on the weather. I see bees over here doing something. Yeah, they're empty. So what I'll do, there's some honey. There's honey. Well, that's why they're heavy. Yeah, there's the feed right there. Good gracious. What we're going to do? We're going to move the brood nest over a little bit. look back at this frame real fast. And she's backfilling. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the brood nest over, away from the wall. That honey frame's going to go over. See, they're all gathered up on that wall, and that's why I'm moving slow. I don't want to hurt her. She's on that wall. I don't see her down there. There she is, right there. You can always tell these frames when they're calm. And my camera's so poor, you're not going to be able to see her probably. She's a little short, squat queen. She doesn't look that great. She might be a new one. The other one could have gotten injured in that tree incident. You know, you just don't know. Maybe they superseded her because they were laying. You just don't know what could have happened. Because in the end, they are not near as healthy as they were. So they, and two, there was no brood being laid at the very beginning, probably November, December, but still. It is expecting to be a little better than this. So something definitely happened in that when that tree went down on it. I don't know what it was, but something definitely happened. Basically slid the nest over, gave them honey on both sides. They're small enough that honey will last them. So that's them. They're going to go in one box. One box allows them to regulate heat better. They don't have to guard as much territory from small hive beetles. And if they come through the rest of the winter healthy, then they'll grow up to be a decent colony. All right, so let's move on. Very heavy top box. Oh my gosh, that's heavy. And there's the brood nest. Oh. Ooh. It's right in the top. Yeah, they're just fine between boxes. So all we're going to do here, get out of there. Oh, man, that is heavy. That's probably 50 pounds. There we go. No reverse. Put the brick back on regular. No reverse. All right, we're off to the other side of the yard. All right, very quickly here. These are already producing drones. Now we want to look for mites. Let's see one mite on that one. I don't see a ton of mites. There's a mite. There's a mite. So 3. So that's a. But here's the deal. They're already growing. They're producing drones. They want to split themselves. So that's what a lot of us beekeepers have been talking about, is the fact that we could have an early year here. So you're gonna have to take a look at the bottom of this, make sure there's no swarm cells being formed or swarm cups, because they're putting brood in, and that box is layered up and down. No reversal on that one. They're fine. Get back to business. And they're kind of testy too. This queen is putting a ton of brood away. And we're still in January. There's drones. It's all drone brood. Crazy as it sounds, it wouldn't surprise me if we have to split these sooner. Alright, so I was in the middle of a time lapse. I wanted to just show something. Right now, this time of year, normally you have a little bit of brood coming out and such as that, but ooh, these bees are everywhere and they're not happy. I've got a few hives that are actually full on laying queen. 2 of them so far, actually 3. One I reversed, one I didn't, and this one I'm not going to reverse. Both boxes full of brood and honey, very healthy. I'm thinking I may even wait for some warm weather in February and split this thing, because they've got plenty of drones, which means they're preparing for swarm. That's swarm preparations when they begin to lay that many drones. The next thing after that is queen cups. And these bees are getting in my suit somehow. I think they're going up my back, but I took a couple stings. But understand, when I'm tearing through their brood nest, they hadn't been disturbed in months, and now I'm tearing through their brood nest. They're going to be upset. But I just want to show you this hive. This is a monster. I say monster not in the way that they're mean. They're just aggravated. And as soon as you shut the lids on them, the ones next to them, they calm down. But when I say monster, I'm growing like crazy. Let's take a look. Pull this out. This is their edge, full of honey, both sides. And this is almost like a March. These things look like March hives. My bees are not happy with the camera. I don't know what draws them to a camera like that. Get them off of there. They're drawn to me because they done stung me. Pheromones. But they're not mean. They're just, it's always like this for me and my bees. I know I'm not as good as some people on the internet that run around there without no shoes and claim they don't have mean bees. It's all about when you mess with them. Come into my bees in July when there's no nectar flowing. Now here's what I wanted to show. Top and bottom. And it had drone brood, like I showed you on the other hive, all up and down. And this is solid. This is a beautiful queen. I'll be splitting this, and if any extra cells I get, we'll be making more of her. Problem is the drones. I don't know where her drones are. Don't want the good stock to get mixed with bad drones, but that's a chance you take. But I will be making queens off of this one. This thing is slap full. And these have already emerged out. Look, I mean, They've already emerged. And you may spot the queen I'm not even looking for right now, but there's larvae on there recapping this. This is emerging. Man, this isn't even February yet. Look at this. Actually, there's a good chance of mites here on. This is the top box, so no reversal on this one. Boy, they are not happy with me being in here, but can you blame them? No long winter's nap for them. Look at this. Yeah, you think this isn't ready to split? We really got to keep eye on the weather. Now, this is where my vertical splits come in super handy. I have full confidence in doing a vertical split on this because the hive shares heat. I won't even use newspaper. That's amazing. I mean, they're flat. This hive is exploding. In January now. January. No offense, but eat your heart out, Canada. Oh, there's the queen right there. There she is. She is working. She's a monster. I always like to see her before I cram this thing back in. There she is. She's on the top right there by my thumb. The bees to get out of the lens. See if I can get her a little closer. It's a healthy hive. And the drones had no mites on them. Now this hive is a remnant of my Russian hygienic bees I got from Dr. John Harbaugh. This is a remnant. There were no mites in the drone. That's good. What I'm telling you is this is a healthy hive. And I honestly, I'm probably going to be splitting this one more sooner than later. Just crazy. I've never split anything that early. Full of honey. Heck, I might split it 3 ways if I'm going to split it that early. Just dumped a whole pile of bees out. Going back in the hive, girls. That's alright. I know where the queen's at. That's what matters. And I seem to have plenty of hive beetles. But as strong as this thing is, the hive beetles aren't going to take over. But I'm still going to put a beetle blaster in. They work for me. I've had nothing but success with them. I gotta cut them. I got a bad batch of them. They aren't perforated all the way. Got my knife sharpened by a young man named Caleb Dunn. I'm gonna see if I can, I don't know if he's got an email address or what. But I tell you what, if he does, I'll put it in the link because this guy can sharpen a knife. Done Right is the name of his, and he does them right. He does everything with excellence, I promise you that. So again, you do a quarter full or so. We had some beetles going crazy in here. So we're gonna stick this in here. Come on, bees, run them in there. All right, let me get back to the time lapse. I wanted to stop that time lapse for a minute and show you that. All right, folks. The bees have all calmed down on this end. Pretty much had to come back out here and grab up a couple things, but we're gonna call that a mission accomplished. I tell you what I learned today was this warm winter, and we've had warm winters before, and I haven't seen it quite like what I saw today. But these bees are absolutely picking it up like it's March. Granted, we had some cold days, but they have been few and far between. So, hey man, they're gonna be ready to split. They're absolutely full of brood right now, and they're gonna have to be split a little earlier rather than later. The other ones looked normal. Saw some drones. Saw very few mites in the drones. One had 3 that I counted, and y'all saw that one. The other 2, I didn't see any mites. That's a good sign. So mite count seems down, but the hives looked good. Everybody was alive. Had one weak one that we reduced down to 1 box. Needed to do that. That's a little weak. I don't know what next door looks like, but I'm sure it's strong. And what I know I need to do now, probably in a few days, and I'll take you all along for that, is I need to go through those single boxes and those nucleus colonies and see where they're at. I did find one full of honey, and I showed you all that I can take that honey and move it over to the 2 that I'm feeding sugar to. Although the nucleus colony is using the sugar, that 10 frame right back there, they're not using it, they're dragging it out. It's there if they need it, but I'm going to check back through there, make sure they need some honey, and I'll go grab some frames from that. And that'll give that other queen a chance to move up. So basically I left a hive with honey on top and brood in the bottom. Empties I put on top and brood in queens in the bottom. And those that had brood in both boxes, I rotated one, and the other 2 I didn't. And I did that one just to see what they do. But what I know is they're full of brood. So if you happen to be down here in Louisiana watching this, you better check your hives sooner rather than later, because you might be swarming in March, and I'm normally splitting in March. I'll keep an eye on them. Had some bees get in my veil, 2 of them, and so I got this little string in my veil. I need to cut it out, and it rubs my neck and the back of my ear, and every time it does it I think I've got a bee in my veil, and I don't. So I felt it today, and guess what? I had a bee in my veil, and I got stung behind the ear. She didn't mean to sting me. I just went to rub that thread out of the way, and that prompted her to sting. She was just probably, I had a second one in the veil, didn't sting me. She was just trying to get out. She was all over the front trying to get out. So they don't come after you, but she got me right behind the ear. I think it took one in the hand. I think it took one in the 2 in the back. And that's because of my suit. Let's see if I can focus on this, but you'll see my hand. My suit is it's loose on me. The elastic is wore out. I'm too cheap to buy a new suit because this one's got many years left in it. What I need is the Joey Rawls belt of safety. Go to Joey Rawls on YouTube and you'll see the belt of safety he wears when he finally puts a jacket on. See, he's like my buddy in Florida. He goes out and takes about 30 stings, and then he goes, well, I think it's time to put a jacket on. And he puts the Joey Rawls belt of safety on. And that's, I don't know if it's Velcro or what he's got. He told me about it before, but that keeps his bees from crawling up his jacket. So I think that's how they got my veil, and I know that's how I got stung in the back twice. But, all right, well, let me get going and get on out here. Those boxes that I cut up yesterday, I need to go nail all those together, glue them together. So we'll be doing some inspections on these singles and these nukes. We'll be doing some swarm box hanging. So look, if you liked the video, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button. I'd love it if you'd share it with friends, and go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Doesn't cost you anything and tells you when we upload videos. So hey, once again, this is Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees. Y'all have a great afternoon, and God bless y'all.